Alright guys, like in the winter when you got like lipped wheels, don't forget to clear the snow out of them. I always forget, but like it literally is just like unbalancing it, but like, oh, that's so bad. Oh my god. I don't even know. My shovel's inside. I don't even think this door... I don't even think this door's gonna open.
Just pull it very forcefully.
Come on, man. I almost need to like get in there and then push. What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today's finally the day we're actually gonna get to take a look at the intake filters on this truck. We got everything out of the bed already. There's only 2 bolts really holding it in. I also need to drill the frame holes out on these 2 holes right here because the bolts, the new bed bolts I got, obviously replacement kit because we cut all the old ones off, they don't go through the frame holes, they go through the bed holes. So we're gonna take the, I call it a gaper, but like a step bit, and just gape those holes out a little bit, and then our new bed bolts will be able to go in. So we gotta move this bed out of the way anyway to get in there and like widen that hole just a little bit so these new bed bolts can fit. As you saw at the beginning of the video, it does not stop snowing in Ohio, which is crazy. I'm tired of it, I'm sick of it. I wanna get this thing done and get to the like spring, summer projects and builds and even the first gen. I wanna do all that, but it's so hard with such crappy weather. But today we're actually gonna throw the Fass on the 7.3 here, obviously Ford 99 to 07. Kinda correlates to all the years, couple different install instructions for each. This is obviously a 140. This is capable from stock to 700 horsepower. Now to get one of these 7.3s to like 700 horsepower is pretty incredible. It's probably an animal. We're not going up to 700, so that pump will be okay. We've got about 100 horsepower added with all the stuff we did from Banks. And then we've got the 140 horse tune, so maybe 200 technically added to the truck, but what it actually lays down, I have no idea. So maybe 100 extra horsepower. And the only thing right now is none of the horsepower is being laid down actually because, like I said, I don't think it's getting all the fuel it needs. So I'm hoping here, get these filters out, hopefully they're clogged, rip them out of that sending unit. I think we'll be okay. So we're gonna get to taking these wheels off, sliding this bed back, just because obviously it'll run straight into them. So if we can just slide the bed back on the frame, at least get this hole right here visible. So let's get to it. I know a lot of you wanted kind of an in-depth install on this Fass. I'm gonna try my best to explain everything as I go, and this will probably be the easiest because there's not many installs on YouTube of this on the old Power Strokes, so I feel like this will help a lot of you out. So yeah, hopefully she'll be running perfect after this install. If not, then we're on to the injectors and that's a whole other thing. But until then, let's get the Fass on this truck. Alright guys, I definitely took a shot to the eye there from a diesel fuel filter and it may or may not burn. But regardless of that, we took the sending unit out. Now here's what I'm saying. I got a new one of these. I gotta go pick it up. Right here we have clean, well, sort of clean in-tank filters. So that was my worry the whole time, which gets me thinking to something else here shortly. But the suction funnel cup thing here was broken off. Obviously broken off the bottom of this. So, and this was just laying in the tank. So obviously we took probably about a good 1/2 inch of suction out of, you know, the functionality of this. In that it possibly couldn't have been sucking enough fuel the whole time, because obviously, I mean, the tank is not anywhere near full. I mean, we're at the bottom. We got probably about a 1/4 inch or so in there. I wouldn't say much more. That funnel was down there. The whole funnel thing was submerged, so we got at least that much in there. I see a little black piece of plastic I got to get out as well. It probably wasn't sucking right and not enough fuel. So that was step one. Now step two is all of my thoughts are null and void, and none of this was affecting that 7.3's performance. I mean, it looks whooped. It looks original. So obviously one of the signs of a failing fuel pump is, you know, the acceleration. If your truck won't accelerate as it should, could be a bad fuel pump. So two things in one here. We're getting rid of this whole suction system, and we're giving it a new fuel pump. So this setup is like a top sump, kind of. I don't know, you drill a hole in the top of the tank, you run your feed and return tubes, and then obviously go from the tank to the pump, and then that goes up to where the factory pump should be on the frame, except you kind of bypass it and run straight to the fuel lines going up to the motor, which I think goes into the fuel bowl, and then to the injection system. So in all that, like I said, we're gonna have a good working fuel pump, completely different suction system than this. It's also definitely gonna suck more fuel, because you'll see the suction tubes when we crack this open. Definitely gonna suck more fuel, filter it better, proper and adequate PSI. So the two other things, like I said, in this situation, we're knocking two possibilities out right now, where it could be this. Like I said, I thought it was this, but also could very well be this, and the fuel level in the tank. Because now that I think about it, this summer, it ran a lot different than it did now. I mean, it wasn't the best, but it also is like progressively gotten worse. So the lower the fuel level could, in fact, play a part in that. It could very well be just a failing factory fuel pump. So let's get this taken care of. January, oh my gosh, wow. This was literally, what? Isn't that today? Is it not the 6th? Or is this in the future?
We're in February.
Oh, that was bad. Sorry. Guess it was made like a month ago. That's pretty sick. You know that this right here forever. And there will be no surrender.
Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J-O-N to the easy E-N. Know that we undefeated. Y'all are beneath them speeches trying to air a grievance, but his lines are overhead. Better check the air for clearance. Call the tower, this is ours. Clear the heat, the air apparent. Really I've never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed. I'm raising the bar, you can go ahead and measure. Think about time for a toast. Time that we welcome to go. Yo, we're just leaving. I think about time that somebody go get them their coat. You know I got all that anthem. Come back in what you call that add-on. Got anthems and bands with masters. Getting them right like my name was Miranda. I ain't bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. One more time. This is forever. Remember the legend, he never gon' die. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. Just making sure that you know why, because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. I am just leaving a legacy. I am the one that they paid us. Got something to say to me, say. You know I've been waiting so patiently. This is my legacy. Y'all don't believe me, then wait. Basically, I have been running things. You can just go on and take a seat. Love when they hated me, put that on everything. Not on my level, you can't be the enemy. This is the plan that we showing them anyway. Hit up the lawyers and give them the NDA. Woo! This is the brand new. This is the brand new. Nothing you can do, nothing you can't do. And there ain't no thing that you'll be taking from me. Man, it came from nothing, made it something. Name is buzzing, call me Ryan Gosling. Hey, gon' know that they gonna love me more when I'm gonna retire the throne. The kind of things that I'm gonna be feeling like a god, because this is forever. And surrender. Yeah. Come on, here we go. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. I'm bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. I'm bigger dead than alive. Dead than alive. Yeah. I'm bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. Making sure that you know why, because this is really I never been better. Legacy, this is forever. Really I never been better. Legacy, this is forever. Really I never been better. The legacy live on forever. Yo, remember the legend and know that he never surrendered, because this is forever.
All right, guys, well, it's actually the next day. We got pretty far on that Fass last night. Now, like I said, I'm gonna be honest and say that after you do a bunch of Fass installs, it goes pretty quick, especially on Rams. You get the concept, you keep doing them. It gets done a lot faster. But here, in this whole Fass install situation, regardless of the company, whether it's a fuel system, a lift kit, any aftermarket parts, can we all agree in the comment section below that anybody who writes the instructions needs to do better? And I get it. When they write the instructions, they write them in the technical terms so you can cross-reference parts and bring it back to what you're doing and install it correctly. But in that, it got really confusing for no reason whatsoever. And I know a lot of you are wondering how to install a Fass on either a 6.0 or a 7.3, and I'll give you guys the easy rundown. This is the wiring harness that goes to the Fass, and it plugs in and it'll kick on when the fuse tap we put in has power. You have to find a switched fuse, which means when you put the key in the ignition, turn it on, 12 volts goes to the fuse. There's only a 3 amp on the output, which sends a signal to this relay we secured up here, which will then kick on and draw power from the battery all the way back and turn the Fass on to run the fuel pump. Then coming back here, they use technical terms for both of these fittings. The exact part number is like the 10058 or something, and then the other one. It makes it super confusing cross-referencing parts, putting them in this. So I'm gonna be real and say that this wide fat fitting, the suction line on this Fass, like upper sump here, is the 5/8 hose. And then the return line, the 1/2-inch hose. What I don't get in this process, although, is that the factory return line, when we get to it and connect and bypass the factory fuel pump, the factory return line isn't modified. So I don't know if it returns with this and then somehow sucks with this and also returns with this, filtering fuel constantly but returning from the engine through this. I have no idea. We're gonna figure that out. That's why I said, can we agree in the comments? Even like some of the lift kits I've installed, well, when I finish them and I do multiple of them, I could literally write easier, perfect instructions and make your life easier so easily. I don't know why they make it so conflicting. Literally, big fitting is the suction side, small fitting, return side. Other big fitting goes on the back of the Fass, and the 2 1/2-inch fittings go on the front of the Fass. So now this return line is gonna connect to the return port, and then this one, it actually labeled is E, so going to the engine will go to where the factory fuel pump is. Here's a quick diagram I drew up to make it simpler on somebody if you guys are doing this install at home. Green wire to negative, red wire to positive, which is at the battery. You'll go to the 30 amp fuse, which will come off the relay. And then the relay here is gonna go to the fuse tap, which is a switched power. So all of this doesn't need to be like over explained in the instructions. Then the 2 other wires come out of the relay and go to the plug, which plug in the Fass. And then from the Fass here is the sump we put on the upper part of the tank. Here's the draw straw we cut to length. 1/2-inch are on the return side, 5/8 are on the suction side. And then the suction port on the Fass fuel system itself is on the back side, and you put the 5/8 barb fitting on the elbow fitting and connect the fuel line like that. And then out of the front, obviously the one from the return in the sump goes to the bottom, and then the one that goes to the engine comes out, and you bypass the factory fuel pump, connect it right there with one of these one of these select fittings, it goes to the motor. And then the return cycle, I don't get how this is sucking and returning if it's not actually connected to the factory return line. So I don't know how that works yet, but we'll figure that out. All the part numbers and cross-referencing the hose part number with the fitting part number, and just because they're one number off, because this one's a male thread and this is a female thread, and all this makes it super confusing. It's actually quite simple. Secondly, before we get into finishing this thing up, in the instructions it shows, I think, a short bed version. The short bed version, I think this is a little bit over here and not so much right here. The filler neck will not go into the bed because this is in the way. So once this is over here and set, obviously you can see that we got a little bit of room to put it off to the side. So when the bed is actually back in place and bolted down, before we connect these hoses, what I'm gonna do is actually loosen these up, slide the Fass system down and under the cab, and then we should be able to still have the filler necks run over and not have the filters like all the way down here. So but other than that, like I said, the instructions make it more crazy than it really is. And like fuel tanks on all the models look different. Get it as close as you can to this. If you slide the bed back like I did, I just went right here, and like I said, I reconnected these. I don't know if the return line gets used still or not, I don't know, but everything's nice and clean in here. Plug the fuel level sensor back in. I ordered a new one. I don't think it's the right one, and I don't think you can get one for these trucks, so I cleaned it off, cleaned all the metal connections. I'm hoping it works. Yeah, let's get this thing buttoned up, and hopefully that fixed our low power issue in this truck, and I think it will. Yes, that's the correct way to start a 7.3. Well, there you go, guys. Install of the Fass Signature Series F14 140G for a 6.0 or 7.3 power stroke. Only specialty tools you really need for this is, it's called a quick disconnect. It's like a fuel line tool. They sell them in a socket, like literally Amazon, AutoZone, anywhere. They'll usually have a rail of these, and pretty much you'll need these two. But on Amazon, you could get them for like $8. And if you go to like AutoZone, if you're in a pinch, literally they're $12. So it's really nothing to actually complete this job. You will need a drill bit that goes up to 1 3/8 inches. I used the step bit. It worked just fine. Clean up the burrs and put that upper sump in, whatever, that new suction assembly. So up in here, guys, it looks really good. We got the suction line coming out and around, and then the return side goes back up and through. You can almost see through here. Yeah, it goes back up and around into the tank. And like I said, I don't know why. I'm guessing that's how it works. It's literally sending fuel from the Fass to the motor and using the factory return line to fill the tank, but also somehow circulating fuel in the Fass. I'm not really sure how this one's working on this truck, because the return line literally goes into the new suction fitting. So I don't know how that's actually working out on this, but what I can say is with the Fass, all I did was prime it. I literally turned the key on. Let it sit for like 30-45 seconds. Tried to crank it, batteries are dead, obviously. And then when we jumped it, it literally fired right up. No, like on my Ram, it took like a long time, even when you change the filters, for that thing to like actually start. But check this out. Like I said, we probably still need new batteries, and if I upgraded it to a different starter, the thing would probably fire immediately. Another thing I can say is with the Fass and that new fuel pump, this motor is a lot quieter, so I could tell it's running the way it probably should. Now, issue being here, I've got like all this snow, and I know you guys could say, oh, it's 4x4, run through it. Yeah, I get that, but I'm just not going to deal with it. This is going to melt in the next couple days anyway. We'll take it for a drive to see if it actually finally cleared that low power issue while driving. And I'm hoping it was the factory fuel pump now that we got the new one. However, in this, like I said, it sounds a lot better already. And then literally, I mean, it definitely sounds more like spunky. So I think the Banks tuner is still hooked up. I want to swap it to the SCT, and then I even want to kind of switch it to the DP tuner as well. Just kind of switch around, see which one works the best for this application and everything we got going. Throttle response seems to be there again, and it seems to be running a lot quieter and actually sounds like a 7.3, even though the exhaust is literally piped right below the cab right now. Oh my gosh, it sounds so much better. It literally sounds like it's running a million times better. Another thing is, I forgot that there's like rubber isolators that go on the frame. I wonder if you guys can hear this. Well, yeah, with idle, I think it's just touching enough in the couple spots where I'm nice. I think it's just touching in just barely enough right there where there should be a rubber little pad from factory. And then over here, as you guys saw, we made spacers to lift the bed up. I'll show you why in a second. But this rail, the one that is not touching the frame whatsoever anymore, it literally rattles like crazy. Like it's the loudest one out of all of them. So I'm thinking it's vibrating there, and it's because all of these are secure and tight. I think it's just getting transferred to that, and it's causing this whole bed to vibrate. So I got to get those rubber spacers that came from factory that we popped out, put them back in here, and then that vibration on the bed should go away. But as you guys know, we put new bed sides on. Well, in that, and obviously I gave you guys the whole explanation earlier on about aftermarket bed sides versus OEM bed sides. And aftermarket bed sides are going to be a pretty good match, pretty good replica. And well, when the bed was fully bolted down, not to mention we completely Frankensteined this bed together. If you guys either are new or you're just catching this, this is the bottom, a truck bed floor from a Florida bed. Honestly, like I said, other than what's going on in here off a landscaping truck, rust free underneath, you guys have seen it. Red bed sections actually have off that red 5.4 outside that I kind of traded the black truck for. These are two brand new like aftermarket bed sides on this. So everything was Frankenstein together, kind of jigged off the truck. Body line was way too low, and the body line on the other side was way too high. We fabbed up some spacers out of some steel. Drilled a hole for the bed bolt to go through so that body line could get like where it should be. So I'm sorry, my eyes are burning from the diesel in here, but I think the Fass solved a lot of our issues. Like I said, when that snow melts, I'm going to take it out, see how it reacts. I'm really hoping that it drives the way it should now. But yeah, I want to take this thing for a spin, then we can start switching out the tuners. Hopefully the fuel pump was our issue. Like I said, obviously we found the broken drains, like a suction straw in the tank. Really quick on the Fass before I let you guys go, there's a reason why I use Fass compared to some of the other brands on the market. There's videos all over the internet. You put this Fass up to some of the competitors, and this thing just filters all the water out, is efficient, less air bubbles. The way it's just smoother. That's why I pick Fass for all my fuel system installs. Like it's just proven performance, and literally directly head-to-head to competitors. Fass has them on their their website and their YouTube. Those videos of them actually going head-to-head, and this just far outperforms the competitors like crazy. Actually, that's why it's not even like, oh, maybe no, like this is the real deal. So yeah, guys, if you guys are looking for a fuel system for your truck, I honestly, like I said, not sponsored, like 110%. If I had the receipt, I would show you. But they just prove that it works. They prove that there's a superior, and it's super quiet. Literally can't complain, and it does what it should. I'm actually a Fass dealer. Yeah, not sponsored, but I am a Fass dealer. So if you guys are interested in a Fass, DM me on Instagram, or send me an email, and I could get you hooked up with one. So yeah, guys, I'm really exhausted. I'm really tired. That kind of kicked my butt with all the whole bed situation and doing all that, but I'm really tired. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, shoot a thumbs up. If you haven't been here before, please get down there, click subscribe, drop me a comment while you're down there. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next one.